access, no matter where you're born, no matter where you live. This is the future of the internet. This is on-chain.
Greetings. Welcome once again to another session of Building on Base. And I'm joined here by my colleague, as always, Mr. Lloyd. Lloyd, how are you doing today?
Hey Google, I'm doing great. BM everyone. Hope everybody had a
Yeah.
nice Easter. And yeah, but
Yeah,
nice
what
to
you been
have
up
you
to?
guys.
What you been up to?
Busy. I'll share a bit. I see Shabs. Hey Shabs.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey
Shabs,
man,
how you doing?
I've been good in a minute.
Good, man. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Been a minute.
it has. Yo, hi, guys.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I was trying to sort out my camera, but for some reason, I'm having issues with that. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but
yeah.
let me just see
Good
if
to have you, man.
I can join this for as long as I can. Um,
Yeah.
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 No stress. As long as you're here,
Nice.
man. It's good to have you back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I was still asking Lloyd, well, Lloyd, what have you been up to? And then we'll get over to Shabs. What's been going on? What are you
Yeah.
working on?
So I think just my own personal projects have been just adding a few more I would say features and just refining my Sovereign OS app, the AI agent stack I built. So I've been playing
Mhm.
around with that. And then over the weekend we had a meetup. We had a Kesa meetup for devs, and we also had some of the base ambassadors come and share opportunities, like the student track that's remaining for those that were interested, as well as how else they can build on base using Kesa. So that's kind of or part of the things that I kind of did over the weekend, or a few of them at least.
Excuse me.
Yeah. How
Nice,
how's
man.
how's your
No, I've been good. Let's hear from Shabs quickly, and then we'll get over to me. So Shabs, we haven't
nice?
seen you in a minute. What you been up to? What's going on?
Yes.
What's the
Yeah.
latest?
Uh, I think from the last time I was here, um, I hadn't been building for a while, and I think that's just it. It has carried on um, into last week because I missed last week as well. I think this week is where I hopefully I will be back properly. But I've been focusing on more the AI literacy space and trying
Nice.
to build something like a training manual that I can put out, uh, which I did the first version and then did a second version. Um, so yeah, now it's just putting that out there, marketing it in the South African um, medium size to small enterprises, and then pushing that and see how that gets received and so on. So yeah, I've been more on that. It's been
Nice.
more a theory sort of space than it is from building, but obviously it accommodates a lot of the things that I've learned from the development space, as well as some of the things that I bumped and cracked my head with over the past 2 years or so. So yeah, it's coming into a combination of a training manual, which would be AI literacy and fluency for the South African market. So that's kind of what I've been up to, and I've been just focusing on getting that out.
Nice.
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 That's dope. Yeah. I'm quickly gonna play that disclaimer, and then we just get straight into the conversations. Here we go.
Today's conversation is for information and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, technical, or legal advice. The views expressed are our own and do not represent Base, Coinbase, or any affiliated platforms.
Okay, we're back. All right, that's great. Great. Thanks, Shabs and Lloyd, for your intro and updates on what's going on. On my end, I started building a new app last week, but I'm also looking into upgrading a few of my apps for the deadline on it's in 2 days' time, right? So that's on Thursday. So on
Yeah.
Thursday, there is the transition, of course, from the Farcast SDK standard for mini apps onto the web app standard, where you just really need to add the sign in with Ethereum functionality for your app to be able to connect a wallet, and you're able to register it on base.dev, and your app can then be featured on the Base app. Another thing that's important for people to add, of course, is the builder codes, because the builder codes track your transactions and they allow you to be featured on the leaderboard if you get more than 40 transactions per week. And featuring on the leaderboards is like an opportunity for amplification. The Base team is always looking out for new apps that are, creating a buzz, and then they will help with the rewards, with amplification, and you can apply for grants and that kind of support. And it eventually leads to, perhaps applying for venture capital within the Coinbase ventures or the Base ecosystem. So yeah, there are a lot of upsides and benefits to elevating on the leaderboard and getting a lot of users in the early days of your app. So yeah, so I've been basically, just looking at which apps I'm upgrading, what I can transition, because I've built so many, but a lot of them was experimental, don't have users. So I'm just now like kind of like looking at what are my top, three. I already migrated the one, Devra Live, which I think I did on the live stream. So I think I'm gonna do just two more to be ready for Wednesday. Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at the present moment with mini apps. Lloyd,
Nice.
I think last we spoke, you shared the sign in with agent, right? I don't know if you
Yeah.
had any further look
That's
on that. Yeah, and you have more comments on that.
it was the signing with agent,
Mhm.
but it was more on the builder codes, like
Yes,
getting
yes, yes, yes.
your
On the
AI
builder code.
agent.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
no,
Actually, you're
we
correct.
also did look at the signing with agent, but it wasn't
Yeah,
as detailed. Yeah, so the builder
yeah.
codes, I think signing up your AI agent to get a builder code isn't really difficult. I tried to do that like a couple of times, and
Mhm.
it's super easy. You just need a few lines of code from the website, like what we did. Just you can go to like base.org and then scroll to the section that says AI agents and look for the part that says get a builder code with your AI agent. So once you
I'm
are
gonna
on that
share my
page,
screen.
yeah.
Yeah,
So once
I'm
you're
gonna share
on
my
that
screen while you
page,
talk us through. Yeah,
okay,
let me just share my screen. So when you're
no
talking
worries.
us through, we kind of click. Okay, so yeah, so it's to go to docs.base.org.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let's go from docs. Let's see what the so docs.base.org, because the website is changing as well. I know they've been changing a lot of things in preparation for the launch or the migration rather. Okay, so when you go to base.org now, you actually come to docs.base.org. It takes you to this page. So this is
Yeah.
the default page now. And then you're gonna
AI,
look for builder codes, right?
it's on the AI agents part. So you can click the part that says build and deploy, or you can click, and then you go to
Okay, there we
builder
go.
codes for agents.
Builder codes for agents. Okay, so you guys saw that. So when you get to your home page, there is build an AI agent. Click there. Then you go to the left menu. There is builder codes for agents.
Yeah.
And we have the instructions on how to, add builder codes to your AI agents. Okay. So of course, you first need to go to base.dev, right? To get the actual code, right?
No.
Oh, you don't need
So
to do that?
so for AI agents, it registers
Mhm.
its own code. So it says
Oh, so
register
it will
your,
do it automatically.
yeah,
Okay.
automatically. So without
Mm,
any sign in required.
okay.
So
So what
this is
do we
basic.
need to do? Just copy this page
Yeah,
or
you
copy the
just
whole
copy this
page?
page. Yeah, you can just copy the whole
Okay.
page to give the AI like more context. Then it's going to install a few dependencies, and
Mm.
yeah, your AI agent will go through that, and you'll be good to go.
Then you paste it in your this is for
In your
OpenClaw, am I
IDE.
correct?
No,
It's
no,
for
that's for
OpenClaw.
any AI agent. Because
Oh, okay.
if you're looking at like the way OpenClaw is, it's still
Mm,
using an agentic AI model in the background. So this will work for
yeah.
any agentic AI model in the
Okay.
background from any of the providers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason why anyone should add builder codes, right, is so that you can track transaction analytics, on-chain
Yeah.
transaction analytics, and you can be featured on the leaderboard, which is the most important part, because everything on base dot like in terms of the base ecosystem is now going to be tracked on this base.dev. Okay, so this is base.dev. So if you go to base.dev, you click on leaderboard, you will see that you can track apps that are basically using the base chain. So these are not mini apps. It could even be AI agents, right?
Yeah.
Or you can track your apps that were previously mini apps and now are migrating to the web apps. Okay. So you can track them here. So what it does is tracks the weekly transacting users, okay? And the total users of your app, and then it puts you automatically on the leaderboard ranking based on how many users you have transacting in your app for the week. So it's a weekly tracking process, and it tracks the top 50 apps, right? So you only need 39 weekly transactions to make it to the leaderboard minimum. Okay. But then, of
Hmm.
course, the bar is not too high to be in the top 10. If you have a mini app on base, you can still make it with at least 222 as of this week, weekly transacting users. Okay. So, yeah, so this allows, so when you get into like your top 10 to 20, the base team is always looking to amplify apps that are trending, so you can qualify for some type of rewards, and they can post about you, get interviewed on the relevant platforms, and they can help you expand distribution, get more users, etc., via strategic targeted market on all our social pages. So yeah, so there's a lot of upside to being here, and I think also it's going to become a requirement if you're building on base to try and be on base.dev, like, so if you want to engage with the base team or you want any type of assistance, you're going to need to first implement builder codes in whatever you've built, okay? Then signing in is pretty simple. You obviously sign into your wallet first on account.base. So it's account.base.app. Okay, so that's how you access your wallet. Okay, so I think if you guys remember, it used to be wallets.coinbase.org,
Yeah.
but I think there's still
Oh,
wallet.coinbase.com,
is it,
right? I think it's
is
still
it wallet?
redirect.
Wallet dot.
Was it?
No, wallet
Oh,
dot.
wallet. It used to be wallet.coinbase.com, right? But I think it still redirects to, yeah, that's still the same wallet. It redirects to this. Yeah, this is the same wallet.
Yeah.
So, but you can also access it on account.base.app. So you can sign in. And if you're having problems, I think you can use keys.coinbase.org to try and recover that. Let me have a look. Or keys.coinbase.com actually
Coinbase.org.
redirects to the same. Okay, let's see what it gives us now. I know there's a lot of changes happening
Yeah,
with,
account dot base.
even with this. Okay, so it redirects to this. Okay, but I
Yeah.
wasn't able to sign in for some reason. So I think there's some things happening here in terms of the migration. But if you are struggling, then go to wallet.coinbase.com and then you use that to sign into base.dev. Let's have a look. Okay, let's see. Okay. And then obviously it's important to remember which profile on your Google you've used to sign in. So we will get a lot of instances where you see I'm logged into my Google profile here, googlenewman.com, right? But then I've got another one that I'm using, which is my work one. You see what I'm saying? So it's got a different email address. So in each of these instances, the wallets are going to be different. So when I go to, let me see, wallet.coinbase.com on this side, it's going to be, it's the same computer, it's the same, Chrome, but it's different. Okay, so I'm not logged in on that side. Let me see if I'm logged in via account. So because it's different profiles, right? Every time you create a wallet, it saves it to your Google, it saves your keys to your profile, okay? Or to your browser, so to speak, right? That's your pass keys, your passphrase. But also when you sign in for the first time, it does ask you for an email address. So you will find that some of these wallets are connected to an email address. Okay. Let's see if we can go
Yeah.
to settings and see if it's going to show me. I know how to find it in another place, but let's see if I can access it here. Okay, so if you go to settings, you've got a whole lot of things from account recovery and all that. I wonder if it will show me my email address. Okay, so it does show me an email address. I'm exposing my number. Don't call me, I'll block you. Okay, so that's something to note, guys, that it does collect like your number when you first sign up, an email address, which you can link to your profile, so you're able to see which wallet is linked to which email for recovery purposes. Okay, so now on this side, the wallet I'm signed into, you see, is slightly different. It is very different actually. It ends with 44E5 on this profile. So when I sign into base.dev on this side, we are gonna have a completely different, base.dev profile. Okay. So you see here, I've got a couple of apps that I've already registered. And the first one here has got some user activity. So yeah, and this is what the builder codes is all about. It's about tracking transactions off chain and on chain. So once I add builder codes, I'll be able to track like the on chain transactions. Off chain will likely be just users, and yeah, that's just the users that are using the app. And then the on chain part will be the actual transactions. So the users that are transacting. That's how I get to the leaderboard, is via the on chain. Okay. So yeah, so when you set this up, of course, you need to you get your code over here, the builder codes, if it's just for your app. And your metadata is now done under the settings tab, where you add your metadata over there, and you need to stick to the guidelines in terms of the size. The maximum size for these images, the combination of images, should be no more than 5 megabytes. So I think it kind of sets a limit of about 4.5 to be on the safe side. But yeah, so it means these screenshots, this thumbnail and that icon, the image sizes, the combined image sizes should be no more than 5 megabytes. Okay. And of course, you need to stick to the size recommendations for your images. You need to follow the size guidelines. Otherwise, you won't be able to save this. And you need to stick to the character limit for those, and don't use special characters there. So no weird special characters in your descriptions. And then, yeah, you add your URL for your app here. So this would be the URL that like people are going to access in the base app if you wish. Okay. You add it over there and you save. But it can be just any URL where you're trying to direct users to when they come onto the base app. You can add it as your primary. And I think you'll be able to add other URLs from the 9th. Yeah. I think this functionality is currently not working. Yeah. And then you can, of course, add members, so if you have multiple members in your team, or developers or builders and founders, you can add so they can access this page as well. Okay. So that's
So
your
for
builder
them to
code over
access
there.
it, they also need a base app as well, is it?
Yes, they would need to.
Yeah.
So you'd add them via their specific wallet that they're going to access, that they're going to use to access. So they need to sign up for,
With
for
that
the base
wallet.
account as well.
Yeah.
And then you add their wallet address there, and they can access this dashboard. Okay. So yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell, right? So the key thing is, I was saying last time, we get a lot of situations where you'd have someone come register an app on this profile using this wallet address, and then they forget, and then they go next time and try and access it over here, right? So they try and register the same app, same name, same metadata, and then they get errors because they can't remember that they used a different wallet because they're just on Chrome. So it's very important to try and remember which profile you signed up on and which wallet address you use to register. But we've requested a feature where you can email yourself. Like in my case, I have a list of apps on this profile, for example. So as you can see, those are all the apps I've registered on base.dev. So we've requested a feature where you can request a list of those. Okay. And it sends to your email that you use to register your app. So hopefully that's going to come up in the next couple of weeks to help people, manage their profile. So I'm hoping to see that in due course. Okay. And of course, to register an app is just need to register an app. Type in the name. Okay. If you don't have a screenshot, you can skip the stage first, right? And then you can skip also the taglines, right? So you'll find that your app is registered, but it's not verified. So you can see it says test there. So to verify your app, you actually need to click verify. Copy this code before you verify. So you click the verify button, you copy this code. It's basically a meta tag, right? So you need to add this code to the head element of your homepage. What does that mean? If you're a Vibe coder, it means you go to your VS Code and you paste that instruction and you click enter, and it will do the magic. So it's not something that you might not need to figure it out, but I'll show you how you find out if you've done it properly. Okay. So
Yeah.
so basically, what I normally do, right? I normally copy this whole instruction here, which says copy the following, etc., etc., right?
Yes.
To always give my VS Code, so I copy it there, then I come back and also copy the HTML code. Okay. All right. Shift enter to make space. Then I paste it. Then I run this code. So what it does is that it's going to add this code here, right? To, like it was saying, to the head element of my
Your app project.
right? So the head element, depending now, because we're moving to, so here's the head element actually. Funny enough, it's come up, right? So in my current app that I built, I think I built this app with the Farcast SDK, right?
SDK.
So it's a Next.js
Yeah.
app, and it's not like your generic website or web, page. So I think in a generic website, this would be like in the index.html file. This is where it will be copied. And then in the Farcaster SDK type of apps, it will be in the layout.tsx. So I think that's where you'd find it. But it does copy it and pastes it there over there. So you don't need to do that manually when you're vibe coding, right? You just copy and paste it there, and then you click enter, and then your AI, coding assistant will do the rest. Okay. So, but what it does is that it's going to add it there. And then how do you check that you've done it properly?
Yeah.
Let me show you guys. So you go to your app, okay, and you right click, and then you say view source, view page source, okay? And then you're gonna see all these crazy, little pieces of code or whatever. And then you need to search. So you can say find on this page, right? Find and edit. Okay, so we're looking for the app ID. So it's app ID. Okay, so you can see that there's the app ID there, and it's got that builder code. So if you've added it properly, then it's gonna appear. If you're trying to troubleshoot, you'll be able to go and view page source, and you'll be able to see it over there. Okay. Then if you're still not sure, you can like literally copy this whole page. Okay. Let me see. You can use select all using your keyboard, but I think it's control something A. I don't remember.
Control A.
It's control A.
Yeah, control A for Windows. I'm not sure about Mac.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. So control A. So you can like literally copy this whole thing. If you're not sure if you've done it properly, control A, copy it, go to the base docs. Okay, let's go to the base docs. Go to the base docs. And then click on the Ask AI. And then you'll say, check if I added my builder code properly. Okay, that's that's not my builder code. That's my meta tag. So what am I saying? Yeah, check if I added my meta tag properly. Okay, and then you paste that and you click enter. And the assistant is going to analyze everything and tell you. It can also tell you like what's missing in your app. So it can also figure out things you need to improve, things you need to change for your app to be able to, for that implementation to have done properly. So it will also check other things in some instances, and it can tell you, like what some issues you're facing with your app. So this is a very valuable tool, this AI assistant, because it's constantly being updated as well, with the knowledge base from the team. So some of the stuff that you find here, you might not necessarily find the context because your building style, what you're using to build might be different. There's other people who are building using PHP, right? And they run into problems. But if you come here, it will tell you if you made your website via PHP, maybe, migrate it to a Next.js app for you to be able to work properly in the base app, etc. So it will always give you recommendations. Okay. So what does it say here? So it says
This is correctly
currently placed.
Yeah.
This is currently correct, or this is correctly placed in the head section of your HTML. The text structure looks properly formatted with the name and content attributes. If this app ID value was provided to you when you registered your project on base.dev, then your implementation appears correct. Okay.
Yeah.
So there we go. So it's told me that this has been implemented properly in my thingy, in the head of my HTML.
Yeah.
So now the next thing is then to go and register it, right? So we're here. So after I've done that, right? So after I've copied it there, and obviously I didn't tell you the part where you have to deploy, right? So when you copy the instruction there and you run it, you have to deploy to your main URL, right? So in my case, because I've already done it, I've deployed to my devrel, .vercel.app. So whatever URL that you are using, you deploy it to the production link, and then you would copy that, okay, the URL, and go back to base.dev. Where are we? Okay, then you paste it over there, or you type in your. So this is where, if you want users to access this via the base app, right? This is the URL that you would use. So this would be the landing page. So when a user goes to the base app and wants to access your app, if they can't find it in search or they can find the icon, this is the page that it redirects them to. So that's what you should have done. Then you click verify and add, and then it will add it like there, So in my case, I have already done this before. So it attributes me as the owner. As you can see, it tells you who's the owner over there next to the name. So it attributes it as the owner, and then it allows you to track, the analytics, who's used your app, in the last 30, 60, 90 days, etc. Okay, or in the last 7 days. Okay. And if you have on-chain transactions, then they're going to show. So you'll be able to check the activities, how many people are actually transacting on-chain. I must say the on-chain transaction will only track transactions that are actually coming from users connecting via base app. So if you have users connecting to your app, for example, if they're signing in using MetaMask or using Rainbow Wallet or Trust Wallet, those are not going to come up because some wallets have not yet implemented the builder code standard. It's called, it's an ERC8021. So yeah, so you might see some discrepancies between how many actual users are transacting and how many transacted on the base app for the week. Okay, so yeah, we're getting a lot of those issues where people have got like 300 users transacting, but only 200 coming up on the leaderboard. That's because those other 100 did not transact on the base app. Okay, they transacted using another app, maybe via the web, access of the app. So the access is on a desktop, for example. Okay. So yeah, so that's basically it in a nutshell, in terms of registering on base.dev. So yeah, there are some scenarios where people are genuinely struggling to register right now. That's because there is a migration happening. So from the 9th of April, I think it'll be easier. Because some people are facing errors with registering this on base.dev for the first time. And part of that is because of the ongoing development that's happening. They keep updating this, platform and etc. Okay, but so from the 9th, you should be able to register without any problems. So yeah, so that's the most important thing that's going on right now, guys, is the migration and the need for anyone who's building on base to migrate and implement builder codes. When we talk about migration, is you're migrating for the previous Farcaster standard of your app to the web app standard. So base is kind of like trying to make it easier for all types of builders to get on chain or to build on chain. Okay, so any website in future, as long as you can implement, currently you need to implement the sign in with Ethereum or the wallet connection to be able to register on base.dev. But it might change and make it easier if for anyone, even if they didn't register or they didn't implement sign in with Ethereum. So who knows? It might change. They might add a functionality, who knows, in future to sign up with your email address here or to sign up with a mobile number and just your web URL. So I don't know, but we'll see on the 9th when they announce all these things. But yeah, some major changes are expected. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
I
it
can't
in a
wait for them.
nutshell when it comes to builder codes for your app, right? Lloyd was making reference to builder codes for your agent, which is a slightly
Yeah.
different experience, right?
Yeah. It's
So there isn't
it's
any manual approach to that, right? It's automated, if I may say so, because the AI agent, and OpenClaw in this instance, it handles all of that. Am I correct?
yeah, the code that you get from the page enables your AI agent to register,
Mhm.
using the code and get itself a builder code.
Yeah.
So when you go to the page, it should there get your builder code. So it says a single and authenticated API call. So that's all it needs. It just needs the wallet address and yeah,
Mhm.
a unique identifier that you
Okay.
append, and you should get
Or you
a
add your wallet address.
yeah. So this makes a call that
Okay.
registers the wallet address and gives it a builder code.
Also, it gives you a response with your builder code and your wallet
Yeah.
address. Okay. Now, I'm wondering, I don't know if you were able to check. I'm wondering if you register the AI agent, right? Builder
Mhm.
code, does it also register your AI agent on base.dev? Like how's that happening? Obviously, base.dev is for apps currently in websites. So AI agents are not necessarily accessed via an app or a website, right?
Um, from the way it looks, I
Mhm.
think so. I think the access just via the API, but I feel like the API is still synced to the builder codes on base.dev. Just scroll down a
Yeah.
bit. Let's see what the
Okay.
documentation is
Okay.
saying. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, so that's the base skill. So this is if you are using an AI agent coding like Claude Code, Kesa, install the base skills package and let the skill handle registration end to end. So if you're using an AI agent, you can also just copy this line of code and give it to your AI agent, to your IDE, and then ask the
Mm.
agent to just go a bit up.
Okay. All right. So then the calls
Yeah,
would be
yeah. With your wallet address, write the returned code to source code constant. So that's why it stores the file which has your builder code inside, and wires the
mm,
ERC 8021. So just that one line of code, this post enable it
mm.
automatically registers your AI agent as long as it's got a wallet address. So
Yeah.
if you look at something like OpenClaw, you still need to find a
Mhm.
way to give it a wallet for it to be able to register. So if your AI agent doesn't
Yeah.
have a wallet, I don't think it's able to register um, and get a builder code. So it's only for
Yeah.
agents, I think, with AI with wallets. So
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
And of course, to get a wallet, I think there's some documentation here that talks
yeah,
about wallets set up for AI agents. I haven't played around with this, so I think
it's
I only know
actually
Banker.
pretty
Okay, so it says
easy.
choose a wallet. Okay, so I've used Banker, I've used Coinbase Development Platform. I've never
Agentic
used
wallet.
Sponge Wallet. Okay, so for me, Banker
Yeah,
is the easiest. Coinbase Developer Platform is very easy, right?
yeah.
They've actually upgraded it. I think the only thing that I couldn't build with was the rate limiting because it's with Coinbase, so there's a rate limit in terms of how many wallets you can create and how many like API calls you can make per second or something, or per interval. So I think for the kind of app I built, I didn't want that kind of rate limiting. It was limiting the way the app functions. However, once you're building with AI agents, guys, and you're using other people's infrastructure, it's always important to learn like what are the limitations, and how decentralized is it, or how centralized is it? How many API calls can you make before you're spamming the network? Like even the base chain, right? On the base chain, if you build an AI agent and it's making like 1,000, API calls per second, chances are it's going to come up as if you're spamming the network, right? And then the network is going to force you out or increase your gas limits, so you end up paying more per transaction because it's picking you up as a spammer, or you might get blocked or limited for an amount of time. So there are all these things that are designed nowadays to try and protect the network so it's not being spammed by bots. And in the agentic era where everything's an AI agent, spam is kind of like I don't know, spam is like, what would you call spam? It's like spam, so for every agent you create, I think spam, probably there's 10 other spammy agents that come up, or for every new anything that goes viral. But spam is kind of like the advertising, it's kind of like the marketing, the fraud mechanism nowadays in the agentic economy. So it's a big problem, right? But if
Yeah,
you're
I
building with
mean, it's
agents,
going
yeah,
because it's
hmm
humans that build these AI agents. We should definitely
yeah,
expect to see a lot of cases that no, humans themselves are into, whether it's using the AI agents for good or also using them for uh, you know not so good
malicious
methods.
purposes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why we have platforms as well, like the is it the 8004 registry,
hmm
where you can register your agent to make sure that somebody can be able to pay attention to it, um,
Yeah.
and see if it's an actual real agent owned by like maybe somebody. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a step in the right direction. Or all this technology is still like very new, so we're still experimenting and or experimenting, together. But so far, these are like some of the methods we have um, that we've created to kind of help the AI agents be, I would say, more accountable and be able to see if they are legit or not, to help us. Because
Yeah.
it is easy to make AI agents. So if we have a
Yeah.
registry, it's easier to track. Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of AI agents, I came across something today because you know how OpenClaw has kind of been like the main uh thing to use, right? So remember Jack, the founder of Twitter? His company Block has come up with something called Goose. Okay, so Goose is an OpenClaw type of AI agent, open source, free, and it allows, I think you can, so an open source extensible AI agent that goes beyond code suggestions. Install, execute, edit, and test with any LLM. So it works with any LLM. And then it's got docs over there. So if anyone has been maybe having issues with OpenClaw, because remember how initially OpenClaw they were saying you need a separate laptop, blah blah blah. And then some people built the virtualization thing. I've tried the virtualization, but that one was more centralized and emergent, but it was good for testing. Um, yeah, so if you've had issues, and I tried Ocean Protocol, it doesn't work with debit cards, it needs a credit card, da 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 da. So, I was having issues in the early stages with how to get to virtualize the whole AI agent because I didn't have a separate laptop to put OpenClaw in. So, so yeah, so these guys are kind of like, so a lot of people have come up with solutions, but I saw recently that Goose from Block. So Block is actually, let me see if I'm actually correct, because people go and claim and say this is from Jack, but I saw Jack posted about it, so it must be correct. Okay, yeah, that's where I saw this. So Goose is, let me see how many. Okay, quite a lot of branches. Let's see how many. It's got a lot of activity. So how many forks? 3,600 forks. 38,000 38,000 stars. Okay, so it's quite a very active thing. I think it was released 4 days ago. So it seems it's reputable. It seems it's got a lot of developer activities, so many branches, so many pull requests. So yeah, so it seems like it's a trusted, platform. I haven't used it, but so it allows you to, so Goose is actually an AI agent, right? Open source AI agent. So it seems it's got a desktop app, CLI, and API for code workflows and everything in between. So it'll be interesting to use this and see if we can add a wallet. I'm sure there's a community around this. Okay, so it's part of the Agentic AI Foundation. Yeah, connect to 70 plus extension via MCP. And then it works with 15 plus providers, Anthropic or OpenAI, etc., etc.
OpenRouter,
So
basically all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
this will
it's
definitely work.
interesting.
You can still give it
Oh, you
a.
can download an app. Okay. I think this is better. If you can download it for Windows and Mac
You can
users as an
for
app,
both Mac. Is it? Can you
there
do
we go.
Mac and Windows, even Linux?
Yeah. So let's see how big this is. You get 224 megabytes. So it's not really that big, It's the size of an Android app. You download X nowadays, you start using it, you'll find that it's about the same size once you've been using it a little bit with all the stuff that it downloads over time. Like most apps nowadays, I think a lot of the Android apps nowadays are around the same size. So you're not really, using too much of your resources. And yeah, they've got a whole website as well and docs. So this is pretty organized. So they've really thought this out. And there's a beauty there. There's a video tutorial. Okay, vibe coding with Goose. So it would be interesting to see if we can add a wallet. I'm sure people have already figured it out. If we can add a wallet using Base and yeah, and see if you can use this the same way you can use OpenClaw. Because if you can add a wallet, then it means you can, add builder codes. You can, you can basically use it as part of your whatever you want to build AI agents on chain on Base. So yeah, that's the whole point with this. So I think adding the Windows, Linux, and the Mac option for desktop is probably a good idea for the average, vibe coder, right? So
Yeah.
so I'll be testing this out later today. Then maybe on Thursday we'll have feedback for you guys as well. But you can feel free to test it, guys. And if anyone has feedback, you can come back to us on Thursday and tell us what your experience was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so where are we? Do we have comments? I just want to check comments. Okay, so there's no comments yet. Okay. So yeah, so anyway, so that's the situation right now, Lloyd. So Lloyd, I know you're already checking it out because I know when you go quiet, you're already checking it out.
So I didn't know about this. I was when I heard Jack, I thought it was his what you call it, his post he made a few days ago for the Bitcoin
Oh,
the
the
Bitcoin
Bitcoin
faucet.
rewards.
And yes, I thought that's what it was. I didn't see this. This must have passed me under the radar.
Yeah. This was so under the radar. Funny enough, you posted it 4 days ago, but I don't know how that was not amplified. I think maybe it's because of everyone was talking about that Bitcoin faucet that this became like,
Yeah.
kind of like,
Swallowed.
yeah, got swallowed in the timeline. But I came across somebody else who posted about it, and that's how I was able to find it. And of course, when you find information nowadays, you reference. So I went to his profile, and then I checked 4 days ago, he posted about it. And then I was able to, like, just check the link. But I'm only really looking at it for the first time now. I read it briefly. I didn't look at the details, but it looks like, yeah, it's an alternative to OpenClaw, you know?
Mm.
So yeah, and this OpenClaw, guys, is like, if you really think that is this kind of technology is not really picking up. In China, there's something called Work Buddy. Okay. Let me see, is it Work Buddy? Okay. Like,
Mhm.
from what I understand, the Chinese government is pushing it to Work Buddy is owned by Tencent, and it works like this. It works on your laptop, okay? So it's also like it's an open claw, but they've made it easy for the average person to use it, right? So you can download it on your Windows laptop or your MacBook or whatever else, Linux, and it works side by side. So you're using it, they're using it for work. So if you're at the workplace and you do some type of admin work, you can employ that, you can use that work buddy to be able to do some stuff, you know. So let
Yeah.
me show you what the website looks like. Okay. So I was trying to access this work buddy some time ago, but I wasn't able because it required me to have um what's this? WeChat to verify. I used to have WeChat
Oh yeah.
years ago. I don't have it anymore. So okay, this site, where is the English version of this site? Okay, let me do a translate. Yeah, okay, I say it to English. Oh, okay, so some things are in Chinese. Okay. Yeah, so this is Work Buddy. So it's an open claw that is being pushed by Tencent. If you guys know Tencent, Tencent is like what? It's kind of like for China,
Uh,
Tencent would be equivalent to what? To Google
Google or
or
Meta,
to
because
Amazon, right?
Meta.
To Meta, right?
I think Meta.
Yeah, because
'Cause
Tencent owns WeChat.
did they own TikTok? Or am I wrong?
Uh, no, TikTok, I think is somebody else.
Oh, ByteDance. Okay.
But
Okay.
Tencent, yeah, Tencent owns
Tencent
WeChat,
is,
and
yeah.
WeChat is like, for China, WeChat is like WhatsApp. It's like how we use WhatsApp, right? It's the main app. It's been doing, everyone buys using WeChat. You can actually, in South Africa, you can order products
It's
on
like
WeChat and they deliver to your
The
door.
Google Meta
Yeah, like
mix.
WeChat is pretty crazy, right? I used to use it
Yeah.
many years ago and it was so advanced. I'm talking like, I don't know, 10 years ago. It was already so advanced. It had already had the financial system. It was what Telegram is today, I think. And what WhatsApp aspires to be maybe in the next 5 to 10 years. But yeah, so these guys are pretty huge. So they're pushing this open claw version. So this work buddy is actually open claw and it's used for daily office, a daily office assistant, right?
Yeah.
So they've cleaned it, they've checked it, they've put their stamp on it. So it's being used across government, it's being used across workplaces, and anyone can download it, right? So they've got two types. They're the code one called Code Buddy,
Mhm.
okay, which obviously is also available in IDE, CLI, etc. And then they came up with Work Buddy for the average consumer, right? So this is strictly open source, open claw, just being pushed by a big company there that's already established. So it's the equivalent of like maybe Microsoft pushing an open claw for the workplace. So it integrates with your Windows, it integrates with your Microsoft Office, so you can imagine at the workplace, at the colleges, a lot of people would use a tool like this. So this is how crazy these guys are moving. And I think this came out like a month ago, if I'm not mistaken, right? If not earlier than that, but I heard about it about a month ago. So yeah,
Yeah.
so OpenClaw is really, really making inroads. I think on our end, what we are looking for or what we're missing in our side of the world is that kind of initiative from a state actor, to support a consumer open claw for daily work, for studying, for like education, for the workplace. And yeah, it needs that kind of push for these things to be able to improve productivity and, lessen all this admin stuff that we're doing. Because that's what it's all about. These AI
Yeah.
agents, it's just about improving our efficiency. It's not always about replacing human labor, because
Yeah.
they're actually discovering. Mark Zuckerberg said the other day that in hindsight, he's come to realize that the proliferation of AI agents and this open claw is actually going to require hiring more people. So the initial thinking was it's going to take away some jobs. While it will, those people will need to move into maybe managing a couple of agents, right? Or
Yeah.
orchestrating agents, but they've realized they actually need to employ more people. You see what I'm saying? To be able
Yeah.
to, so he says the nature of technology is always that when a new technology comes in and then gets like, consumer adoption, you need to hire more people. Like how WhatsApp started, there was a few builders, a few users, and then they needed more scale. They needed more infrastructure, they needed people with more advanced services for servers and that. And as it went global, you hired more and more people to keep this thing running because there's bigger infrastructure to run. So that is the reality, guys. So I think we've been kind of duped by the media because, that kind of news sells. It's clickbait. But the reality is actually the opposite of what the news has been saying. The reality is every technology we use today has had to hire an industry of people. From cybersecurity to this, you need infrastructure, even the crypto or the Web3 space that we use. It started with people just, mining Bitcoin on their own little laptops. Or in fact, it wasn't even laptops, it was desktops, because that was like some 10 or 13 years ago, right? It was all the machines
Yeah.
that individuals were using. But now you've got multi-million-dollar companies, using those mining via servers, and those require people, they require experts. And there's wallets, there's all these other technologies that run alongside. So I think the reality, guys, is that we're not gonna all be jobless. It might be for a short time or for a time, but then other industries are gonna come up, so you need to upskill yourself. So yeah, so that's me digressing on what I've been learning with this AI stuff, right? Because we're all learning this in real time. Yeah. But over to you, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I was just saying, it's basically like how computers came and maybe you can say they took over the jobs for people who were using like typewriters, but they did create like a
Exactly.
lot more jobs, not just in like repairing, but like even even in teaching. Every time
Yeah.
there's like a new skill, you always need
Mhm.
like people to do certain things. And I mean, if we ever reach a point where robots do everything for us, I feel like that still doesn't take over the fact that you also still have things to do on your own. Doesn't mean if
Yeah.
the robot is uh, good at painting, then if I love painting, then I should stop painting.
Mhm.
Like you can still paint.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean,
coding. If you yeah.
somebody needs to charge the robot, ne? Someone needs to change its battery. Someone needs to clean it.
So there's
So we might
always
still have
going to
jobs after
be
all.
there's always going to be more things for us to do. And we haven't yet discovered like a lot of things yet. We're
Yeah.
already hearing stories of people like SpaceX trying to now start going to like different planets or creating servers in space. Like most of those are also going to need people in one way or another, whether
Yeah.
it's you down here controlling them and directing
Mm.
them. Like robots are definitely a tool, even if they get so advanced that they
Mm.
surpass us in all the ways, they'll still also just be like a sort of tool or companion that we get to live with.
Yeah.
And continue. There's going to be harder math. There's going to be, harder topics that we haven't yet discovered that will probably require both the AI and our knowledge, to be
Yeah.
able to. So yeah, we
I mean, it's
we
like
we, ha- we
even
always have.
AI agents. You know,
Mm,
the one thing about AI agents, right? Where we say the talk is most transactions will be done on chain via AI agents, right? But those AI
yeah,
agents will be owned by people.
yeah,
You can't take away the human element because those AI agents cannot exist of their own volition. They can, but at some point there's a human being or an organization
someone.
behind them. But we cannot take away human beings for the equations, right? So when you build these systems, even if you're building AI agents, you must remember you're building AI agents that are going to represent people in one form or another on chain, right? So
Yeah.
their whole goal is because AI agents are not going to make money on their own without the human being equation. They can, but then what are they making their money for? You know, when people still exist. So the real economy is human being, the human economy. So I think it's always important. I know in the Web3 space right now, there's a push towards AI agents. I think some people might be misguided to think you can remove the human equation from your user base, but you can build a trillion AI agents. If we all don't even give them $1, then what are they going to do? Because
Mm,
we're still going to transact among each other. We're still going to need to buy bread, even if we buy from the
yeah.
AI agents or whatever. But there's still going to be that human to human transaction that still needs to be captured, and amplified. So it's always
Yeah.
important, I think, at some point to stay grounded when you're building this stuff, when you're building on any platform, when you're building with any tool. Always keep in mind where we are now. There's real human beings that still need services, you know. And I think for the foreseeable future, there's still always going to be the human element to it. So that you can have agentic to agentic transactions, but they represent human beings, or it's some way or the other, there's a human in the loop. So it's always very important to remember that. So I see a lot of rhetoric where people try and move away and they think we can, abstract the human being away from the existence, but I don't think that's realistic, because then how do human beings do things between each other, communicate with each other, and still do things that are human, right? So yeah, I don't think it's wise to try and remove the human from element. So for those who are building agentic systems, right, it might work very well in a pilot, you've got 100 AI agents running around doing things. But as long as you don't get the human element out of that, then your AI agents are always going to be doing tiny microtransactions that you give them or that they can earn online. They're never going to grow into volumes of the billions and trillions because that requires a human being giving their money. Someone has got to take their salary and give those AI agents at some point to be able to do something with it. So yeah, keep the human being in the loop in your building AI agents, and I think that's very important for real world adoption of this technology. Yeah, I don't know your thoughts, Lloyd.
Yeah.
Before we end, actually, maybe we can ask for your last thoughts because we are at the top of the hour now. Last
Oh
thoughts and
yeah.
word of
No,
the day.
just I think last thoughts, it's like I said, the technology is new. We're all building it, at the same time together. So there's a lot of like discovering, and this discovery only comes by actually playing around with these tools, like being experimental. Like
Yeah.
if you like, sometimes wake up, go to your AI agent and be like, how can I improve you? Like, what do you lack in that you think we can work on? It's thoughts or prompts like that that basically get a particular set of, I would say, responses from AI agents, or your IDE agent, to be able to help you, whether it's create the next app or improve your app, or maybe find loopholes that you didn't really see. So play around with these tools and experiment with them. They're only getting smarter, and it's always good to be in the loop and the know-how. So word of the day: be in the know-how. Be in the loop. Don't get left behind. You know, um, just
Yeah.
try to figure out like what's happening and stay in the loop. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely don't get left behind. I agree with you there. I think the
Yeah.
people that get, that lose their jobs to AI agents are those people that will sit and not try and learn new skills. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff nowadays you can teach yourself, or you can have somebody teach you on YouTube, or you can copy and paste whoever's documented something, paste it in your, whether it's your Microsoft Copilot or Gemini, and ask it to simplify it and to teach you to do a tutorial, even to do videos on
Mm-hmm.
Google Vids. So you can do all those things. So it's so easy now to learn anything new. You just need to make the time and just have a bit of focus, and you will be able to learn a lot of these skills. So
Yeah.
yeah, so even when it comes to building on base, guys, it's being simplified every other day. It's become so easy. So a lot of you, I think, just like how everybody has one hit song in their system, everyone has one hit song that if you took time to make your song, you're gonna have a hit song. It's the same with apps. Everybody has one hit app in their system, right? If you just take
Mm-hmm.
time to go and build it on base, play around, you will come to a point where you will find your one hit app, right? And that's going to pay you. It's going to give you a couple of, even if you're a one hit wonder, that's all that matters, because that gives you leverage to do other things. Okay. So I
Yeah.
think, if you've been attending this live stream, you got to ask yourself, in all this time, what have I built? What have I tried? What have I experimented with? How many items have I built? You might not need to build one item and hope that's the one that's going to hit. You might have to build 10 or 100, right? Because that's the success story. A lot of these companies were failing and they pivoted. The likes of Jack with X, it was their final pivot before the company died, that it became an accidental hit, just like Anthropic as well. Claude Code was like an accidental side project from one of their builders, and it became a hit. So you never know what's going to become, viral, but everybody
Yeah.
has, we all do. We all have that one app or that one thing that we can build or we're going to build. That's going to be a hit. You understand? So it's all about keep building it, keep trying to ship, keep upgrading it, keep relaunching it, and sooner or later, you're gonna meet your luck or your fortune. So you just have to
Yeah.
increase your surface area of luck. In other words, build more things, stay abreast with all the technology, try new things that they're coming out and keep shipping something towards that, or upgrading what you have, and implementing the new tools. And sooner or later, you will meet your lucky break. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, so my word of the day is that just keep trying, keep building, and of course, remember deadline 9 April for anyone building mini apps, or for anyone trying to stay ahead with what's happening on base. There's a lot of things going on. So also look out on the base socials on the 9th on Thursday for all the updates, right? And
Yeah.
also keep in mind that we are in Central African time, and I think the base team is using Eastern time, which is like New York time, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're looking for updates, they might come slightly, at night, our night, which is their daytime, right? Or our afternoon, which is their morning. So yeah, so if you're anxious for updates and you see on the 9th, base.dev is not behaving the way it needs to behave, just keep in mind the timelines that we'll probably start to see it in the afternoon or in the evenings. Those changes, okay, right? But yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise, I think it's been good. Thank you to everybody for showing up, and continuously participating in being our audience in these live streams. And thank you, of course, Lloyd, for always being, coming with information, coming with hacks, coming with
Anytime,
the
guys.
educational part of everything that we do. So it's a great pleasure to always have you. And I think the next time we speak on Thursday it will be 1 p.m. Central African time, which will be 8 a.m. in New York or thereabouts. So I think by Thursday, when we speak on the builder office hours, the migration should have started taking place, or should
Yeah.
have started happening, or should have had happened. So yeah, so it will be a great time. So if you can come through and join us on Thursday at 1 p.m. at the office hours on the same x.com/based Southern Africa or Southern AF handle. Then we can talk about what's new and what's changed and share as much information as we can. And we help you get up to speed with whatever migrations and whatever updates you're looking to do. And if you're having any technical issues, please go and join our Build on Base Discord. Okay, so the handle is Build on Base, at Build on Base. But yeah, go and join our base Discord. There's a lot of DevRel ambassadors on the channels that are helping people in real time with any problems that you're having, any technical issues, okay? And I think a lot of people are going to start seeing some technical issues after the migration on the 9th. So if you happen to have any issues, go straight to the Telegram. I mean, sorry, not Telegram, Discord.
Discord.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay, my thoughts are running. I'm thinking about something else. But yeah, Discord is where it's at, guys, for technical issues. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I think that's it for the day, Lloyd. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's it for the day.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Cheers, and we'll catch you on Thursday at 1 p.m. Same channel.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Have a dope night. BM.